to Alaskan Homemaker, and back to my kitchen today. Today we are going to make some fried halibut and some homemade tartar sauce and corn fritters. It's so good. Our fair has a booth that always makes fried halibut and corn fritters, and it's really good. Okay, and we're going to start with our tartar sauce, our homemade tartar sauce. The fried halibut and the tartar sauce come from this cookbook. And then the corn fritters come from a different recipe, and I'll link it in the description box below. We need 1 cup of mayo. You can do a 1/4 cup of dill pickle or sweet pickle, whatever you prefer, or you can do dill relish or sweet relish and just drain it. So we're going to use a 1/4 cup, and I'm going to use dill relish. I don't really care for the sweet relish. So we're going to get a 1/4 cup. And then I have a tiny little strainer, and then I'm just going to pour it into the strainer and let that drain while we get the rest of our ingredients. And the liquid's just going to come out of there, the excess. Okay, and I've got an onion here, and we're going to get 2 tablespoons of finely diced onion. So I'm going to slice it really thinly and then dice it really fine. A little piece of the onion skin. Okay, that looks pretty fine. We'll get that into our tartar sauce. It calls for 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley, but I don't have any right now. In my garden it's growing, but it's not very big, so I don't want to cut any off of it. So I'm going to do a 1/2 tablespoon of the dry parsley. Just getting a little... Okay, that's pretty good. We're going to go ahead and get our relish into here. And we need 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. It calls for pimento also, but I never have pimento, so I'm not going to add that to my tartar sauce. Okay, we've got it all mixed up. Looks good. I'm just going to pour it into this bowl for serving. There we go, and we'll taste it. Tastes good. Homemade tartar sauce is really good. We'll cover this and get this into the refrigerator while we're making our fish and corn fritters. We're going to start making our corn fritters. I've got a paper towel lined bowl here to put the corn fritters and the fried fish in. And then I've got my Dutch oven there. And we're going to go ahead and start getting some Crisco into here. And I'm going to get this on a medium-high heat so it can start heating up while we're mixing up our batters. Okay, I'm gonna let that melt and see how that looks. You can use 1 can of corn drained, or you can use frozen corn. I used frozen corn and I put it in the microwave. This is 1 1/4 cups of corn. Okay, and we're going to get a 1/2 cup of milk in here. 1 egg. Two tablespoons of melted butter. I melted it and it's been sitting on the counter so it's not burning hot right now. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're going to use 1 3/4 cup of flour. This is a 1/2 cup measuring cup, so we're going to get 2 of those. And this is 3/4 of a cup. So 1 3/4 all together. The original recipe is called chicken corn fritters, but I leave the chicken out. And it also has a green chili sauce that you can make to dip the corn fritters in. But we like to have honey butter or honey, and most of the time we just have honey with these corn fritters, and it's delicious. And now we're just going to give this a good mix. And I don't change anything about the recipe except for not putting the chicken in. It calls for 1 cup of cooked diced chicken. Okay, and it's all mixed up really good. Okay, I used this whole 48-ounce thing of shortening plus some that I had left over in my other can for my big pot. For our fish batter, I'm 1 1/2 timesing the recipe because I want to make sure I have enough batter. I don't want to have to make more batter. So we are going to use, this is a 1 1/2 cup measuring cup. We're going to get 1 1/2 cups of flour. A 1/4 teaspoon salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and we need 1 1/2 cups of milk. We're going to give this a good stir. All right, we're gonna let our oil continue heating up and then we'll be back to start frying. Our oil is heated to 350 degrees now, and I patted dry our halibut that we caught that you guys might have seen the video from last week. So this is our fresh halibut that I froze and I thawed it out today and patted it dry. And then we've got our fish batter and then our corn fritter batter. I think I'll start with the fish. All right, so I'm just gonna drop it into the batter. And then carefully drop it into the oil. This is gonna be so good, y'all. I've made this recipe several times. This is our favorite recipe. Okay, I've got about 5 pieces in there. I don't want to overcrowd the pan. They sink to the bottom a bit, so I'm gonna loosen them up from the bottom. Okay, and I'm gonna turn this down a bit now. And we'll fry this for about 4 minutes. And just turn them as needed to get all the sides golden. Okay, it's been about 4 minutes. We're going to get our halibut out. Oh, it looks fantastic. Now we're ready to get some corn fritters in. So we're just going to take a big spoon and drop it by spoonfuls into our hot oil. About that much. These are so good. They have all these craggly bits that are crispy, and it's so good with honey or honey butter. These are going to fry for about 6 minutes. These look pretty golden, so I'm going to take these out. And the fish looks good. It's all opaque, so it looks good. Here is our delicious corn fritters and halibut. It looks so good. Okay, and we have our tartar sauce here, and I've got some honey here, and now it's time for the taste test. Okay, let's try the halibut first. It's so delicious, y'all. Really, really delicious. It's amazing halibut. Nice and moist and delicious. Okay, and now let's try our crispy corn fritters. I'm going to break off a little piece. Dip it in the honey. So good. This is as good as ones you get at the fair. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I hope you are having a wonderful summer and have a blessed day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.